Surah Al-Kahf of the Quran explains to us how to study Dajjal, how to study the world in the age of Dajjal. He has such deception that he takes the road to heaven and he makes it look like the road to hell. And he takes the road to hell and he makes it look like the road to heaven. And the sheep and the cattle would be deceived. This is our subject, the sheep and the cattle. I didn't know we had so many sheep and cattle in the Muslim world until COVID came. I was astonished to see how many huge numbers. Once the government said, you got to put on a face mask if you want to go in the masjid. All of them put on the face mask, like sheep and cattle. Once the government said, you have to stand apart from each other, social distancing, although our Prophet said when you leave a space in between when you stand for prayer, if you're not shoulder to shoulder, then Satan will come and fill that space. But they didn't bother about Muhammad alayhi salam. They didn't care 2 peanuts for him. No, we have to follow the government. And so they stood up like, excuse me, like monkeys. I don't care if they're annoyed with me. No, they stood up like monkeys performing their prayer in the masjid, social distancing. And the surprise of my life was to find that at a time when the Muslims were like sheep and cattle, including their scholars, I was astonished to find Christian scholars. Not just Christians from the Orthodox Christian world, but Christians from the Western world as well. Christian scholars who showed such magnificent insight into the subject and such immense courage that I couldn't find amongst the Muslims and amongst the scholars of Islam. And I learned a lot by listening to these Christian scholars explaining what was happening in the world of the virus and the vaccine and so on. May Allah bless them. These Christian scholars, not all of them were priests and so on, they were also other people. And they did a magnificent job, and I am proud of them. So, Surah Al-Kahf tells us that in Akhir Zaman, the world will be filled with cattle and sheep, and a lot of them in the world of Islam. Oh yes, a lot of them. They take US dollars and to betray the government of Pakistan, and you have a regime change, and now you have a US dollar back government in Pakistan installed with US dollars, and the sheep and the cattle can't see that. So Surah Al-Kahf of the Quran has come to explain to you how do you recognize Dajjal, his footprints. How do you penetrate the reality of the world in the end time? This is a branch of knowledge called epistemology.